Hi guys, I'm back again. I want to start off with thanking you guys for watching my videos. Again, if you have any comments, any questions, please post them because I would love the interaction. So, when I did my last video, we were discussing the dysfunctional family, and that was part one. So today I'm going to go over the second part of the dysfunctional family. And with that, many members in the family can take on different roles. So the key concepts of a dysfunctional family, they squeeze the members into a rigid and inappropriate state. When an argument occurs, the family generally needs a peacemaker. And when a member excels, the family can have a healthy pride to their foundation, to their background. So, in a healthy family, these roles are flexible, played between the spouses, how many children you have, whether grandparents are in the home or uncles, cousins, aunts, things like that. So, the dysfunctional family organizes itself as basically around the problem. So instead of highlighting those flexible aspects and roles between each individual in the family, they are solely doing it around one problem and making that the center of everything. So there are different roles within the family, and the first role that we have in the family is the role of the hero. Now, the hero often identifies as the firstborn child. They assume the role of responsible one of the hero. They excel, whether it be in sports or academics. Their achievements take focus off of the family's problems. So they tend to make sure that if they have younger siblings, they tend to make sure that they're cared for, kind of stepping in as that underlining parent, making sure that they're ready, that they have the things that they need. So heroes are basically classified as little adults, and they tend to get old before their time, which they never really get to be children. And I think my oldest can relate to that. She is 12. She started taking on the role of being the hero at about age 7. So she has a little brother and a little sister. And through the course of the dysfunctional family that I was in and the abusive relationship, she was kind of being the secondhand mom and making sure that things were getting done where I wasn't capable of getting them done, if that makes any sense. For those of you who have been in that situation, I know that you can relate, and looking back now, it really hurts my heart to know that I was so consumed with the relationship and the life that I thought was okay is not okay, and I made my child bypass being a child, and I can't go back in time and fix that. The only thing that I can do at this point right now is stand up and take that role of being the mother and allow her that freedom of not being the hero and not taking on the responsibilities of an adult that a child doesn't need to take. So, the second role that we have is the scapegoat, and this is the child who tends to get blamed for the problems. Finding that the role of the hero is already filled, the scapegoat seeks attention by acting out or running away or getting into trouble. And without all kids crave attention, I mean, even us as adults, we crave attention. And when you start to act negatively, that shows that you're not getting the attention that you're wanting, and that's not fair to you. It's not fair to the child. They deserve that positive attention, that nurturing, that love. So in a dysfunctional family home, attention is in short supply for all individuals. The addicted parents, they use all of their energies to deal with whatever addiction they're suffering, whether it be an addiction to codependency, an addiction to alcohol, an addiction to marijuana, any other substance that can consume a person's life and make them forget what is important. So it's very hard. It is very, very hard. And it's not fair to those who can see that spiraled down movement and lifestyle of your parent or your sibling or whoever that is consumed with their addiction rather than consumed with the positive aspects of life and, making a happy life for themselves. So codependent spouses are typically addicted to their addict. With that means that when I was in a relationship and it was abusive, I was addicted to him. I was addicted to constantly being around him. I was addicted to consistently making him happy. And whether or not it was actually working, I can see now that it wasn't, because he was addicted to alcohol. He centered his life around having a drink every day and self-medicating. And I was the one who, in a sense, kind of enabled that, because I knew that if he wasn't drinking, then he wasn't happy. And if he wasn't happy, then no one was going to be happy. So it really makes a big difference when there is an addiction involved in a dysfunctional family. That's the basis of where you need to start if that person doesn't want to change nor admit their addictive traits and their addictive ways are ruining your relationship and ruining your family. You need to take things to the next step, because it can be very detrimental from that point on. So with codependent spouses, being addicted to their addict, you are also taking all of your energies, and they're spent on trying to control or cover up for that person. And this all goes back to my personal experience when I was in the abusive relationship. The fact that I was severely codependent on this individual, I was constantly covering up for him when he would, when he would push me, down the stairs. I twisted my ankle one time, and, I did things to cover up for him. I would never call the cops on him in fear that I would lose him, but in his mindset of being so drunk and vulnerable, he would turn the tables and he would contact the police on me in fear of him going back to prison. Because he is a convicted felon. He has an extensive record, and it's only after I've been with him that I've actually seen this record, and I was floored, and I covered up for him. I covered up for everything that he did to me, everything that he did to my son, everything that his son did to my son. I made excuses, and I'm not proud of it, but I realize now, being away from it, how detrimental it was and how things could have got way worse than they are. So in a basic sense, I am lucky to be where I'm at right now, even though it is a struggle and I'm dealing with, legal issues due to his manipulation and his lies. It's something that I am doing this to bring awareness for everybody else so that you don't end up in the same situation that I am in right now. So back to this. Sorry I got off track, you guys, but this really hits home, and this is why I'm doing it, because I want to make a difference for other people. So that's the scapegoat. The next role that we have in the family is the lost child, the person who never really makes waves in the family. This child deals with denying that exists by staying very quiet. The term lost child describes the situation well, because children are the ones who notice everything. They never make the waves. They never do anything to draw attention to themselves. And they are masters at chameleonism, blending in to their environments, adapting to their surroundings very, very well. Whether they be positive or negative, they have that ability to adapt very quickly, because they sit back and observe everything that's going on, and they learn to adjust very quickly to what's going on. So what makes their situation more tragic is that the observers think that the family's chaos doesn't affect them. In fact, it really does affect them, because the lost children are the children that tend to be shy, and they hold everything in instead of going back to the framework of a functional family, being able to talk, listen, and feel. The lost child isn't allowed to do those things, so they tend to stay in their shell. And the last role that we have is the mascot, and this role is the child who seeks to relieve the tension in a stress-filled family, such as telling jokes, making funny expressions, doing humorous things that relieve the tension in any type of way. So they are the children who major on feelings. They are very in tune to feelings. And the trouble is that they major on fixing another person's feelings. And they become masters at using comedy to relieve the tension in certain situations. So, and a mascot becomes the adult who is the life of the party, but who is out of touch with their own individual feelings. moving on to keeping things the same, we have the enabler. The role of the enabler traditionally is assigned to the addicted person's spouse. This would be me. So I was the enabler. I was enabling him to continue to get drunk, to continue to self-medicate. I was providing and enabling and, using my money for him to go out and do those things in order for it to turn around and him to physically put his hands on me, verbally abuse me, kick me out of the house. So that would be the wife of the alcoholic individual, the drug dependent individual. This enables them to keep doing what they're doing, to keep indulging in their addiction. And that, sets the spiral into motion. And in the name of helping, which the enabler thinks that they're doing is helping, but the encounter with reality might cause them to become responsible for those person's actions. And that rings true, especially in my situation, because I did and sometimes do feel responsible, but on my road to breaking away from codependency, this right here, this segment and me talking to you guys allows me to accept my past faults, and move forward so I know what not to do in the future. Now, everybody's role has common elements that exist that were just mentioned. And these roles, these people try to escape from pain. They try to gain self-worth and avoid reality. So everybody in the system strives to maintain some stability. The only order that they know is the way things are and the way things have been going. Each role serves to deny the existence of the issue or that elephant in the room. Each allows that issue to remain untroubled. Now, children, they seek such systems that rarely build healthy self-concepts, and they're great at risk for multiple marriages, addiction, codependency, stress-related relationships, physical problems. So understanding the roles of a dysfunctional family is a step towards understanding why we are what we are. And the understanding will not make us better, but it can definitely open the door to making choices to lead us into a better life. So new solutions begin to appear when we learn to reframe the problems. And with that, recovery is possible because life can be a joy rather than a burden. And with that, I want to say, please don't be surprised if you find yourself feeling overwhelmed at times. All of us do as we begin to process these matters. So recovery takes time, but it does work. And the key concept for this segment is dysfunctional families squeeze the members of the family into rigid and inappropriate roles. So with that said, just kind of marinate on the segment that I've done today, and the next time I do a video, I will be going into the basis of codependency, looking into that mirror a little bit more, and then we will go on to the unmanageable. Who am I, me, and what I am over other people. So Again, I really appreciate you guys tuning in to my videos, and I really want people to feel empowered. You don't have to be in the situation that you are in if it constitutes your safety and your happiness. You deserve so much better. So much better. We all do. And no matter what role you play in a dysfunctional family system, you can change it. You absolutely can change it. Because if I can go from the situation that I was in to sitting here right now and telling my story to you all, and hoping that it reaches, even if it reaches 6, 7 viewers, I'm still making progress. And those 6 or 7 viewers can go off and provide the knowledge that they've gained just from me bringing awareness and continuing on this journey. So I want you guys to know that you do matter. No matter what situation you are in, you have the right to feel and speak what you feel. Now, I know the topic of the personal Bill of Rights was kind of short, so at some point in the future, I will go over those again for those of you who have kind of missed it, and say them to yourself on a daily basis, because you have a right to all of that in your life on a daily basis. I just want you to know that you guys matter and you're beautiful if no one has told you so today. Don't give up on yourself. You got this.